Next up, our Excel interview with Mr. George J. Mount, the purveyor over at georgejmount.com, an economics and business analytics website with quite a big content area on your blog around Excel. How you doing, George? And could you tell us a little bit about your website?
Hi, Rick. Good night, everybody. So the website is really for anybody who probably uses Excel in their work. So it's a lot of business analytics, a little bit of like business economics, but it's kind of like my knowledge dump of everything I've kind of learned over the past few years as an analyst, and Excel's a big chunk of that.
Gotcha. So when did you first decide to open up a website or open up a blog? How did that come about?
You know, it's probably been like a couple of years now. I love writing, went to liberal arts school, so it's, the need to create is deep within me, and just started writing, and, it's the common thing about, you don't know, like, I don't know what I'm going to write about, but, after each post I kind of started seeing a pattern, and started thinking about, what are the things that I wish I'd known coming out of my liberal arts degree about business analytics, about Excel, and things like that. So that's kind of been the journey, and I think you've kind of seen the voice develop over time, and definitely, getting involved with the Excel blogging world has been a big step in kind of seeing this creation come to life.
Cool. So, George, you said you have a liberal arts degree, and I know from a lot of the work on your blog that you don't just do straight Excel exams. You like to make comparisons that are sort of outside the conventional mold, probably somewhat in relation to folks who are in more liberal arts settings. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Why you choose to use other sorts of topics in your Excel blogging, and just also in your business analytics blogging, I should say.
Yeah. So I knew that I didn't want to just make, an Excel knowledge dump. I mean, there's huge forums out there, really great websites, a lot of resources. So I wanted to kind of lend a unique voice to that, and given my background, with like economics and analytics and everything, kind of making it more applied Excel, right? So I don't, just copy paste this code, done. I'm trying to, step back. I make the analogy of, your first soccer practice, the soccer ball's not even there, you're just kind of, picturing how all this would work. So I'm trying to get people to step back and attack things in Excel and data in different ways, which I think is helpful with like a liberal arts degree. That's where the value really comes in with this kind of stuff.
Cool, great. Any advice for people who come from non-traditional backgrounds on how they can start learning Excel?
Yes, this has been a huge passion of mine because I was so lost starting out, and I even went to a great liberal arts school, economics degree. Then I went to a very good business school, got a master's in finance, and I was still clueless, right? So going to my interviews, I had no idea what to say, what I should know. The Excel that I kind of learned in classes wasn't really what was needed in jobs. So really, what the answer for that is, like, check out the site, because it's really what I'm trying to push at. So it's georgejmount.com. Been blogging. I have several dozen posts on there. My big push right now is putting a course together on all this. So if you go over to the site, like, that's going to be kind of the portal for that. Kind of getting that in motion, and when we go into the white paper that I set up for everybody tonight, that kind of guides you about what kind of things I'll be covering in the course. So yeah, if you're coming into Excel with kind of a non-business or non-data background, I definitely encourage you to check out the site, because I was in the same place a few years ago, and this is kind of my dump of what I wish I'd known.
Coming out of a liberal arts degree, and then moving into Excel, how did you go about doing that? I mean, what was the process, and what was the thinking as you go from a liberal arts degree and then start actually executing against Excel? What sort of challenges did you have?
Really not knowing the challenges that analysts face. and not understanding that, kind of the concept of like data wrangling, kind of, things are not packaged in nice, tidy problem sets like in real business. And I think when you're in school, that's normally how things are set up. Even when you're in a very good program, you still like get the data, it's all ready to go, do a couple regressions, etc. You're done. But real business doesn't work that way. So, learning, especially in Excel, I mean, that's the vehicle. No matter where you go, you're going to use Excel for business. So, starting there, it's a great tool to, kind of build these skills. And that's been my medium of, turning kind of a liberal arts degree into, knowing how to work with data in Excel. Especially just thinking about how can I manage my data better, how can I analyze it better. So that's been kind of the challenges and what I've been documenting on the blog, how I'm getting by those.
So I do have a question from you. Some of your fellow bloggers out there realized that you were going to be on the show, and they wanted me to ask you some questions.
All right.
So I have a question for you here, Mr. George J. Mounts, from Mr. Kevin Lairbass over at myspreadsheetlab.com. Wants to know, what is more fun to work with in Excel for you, VBA or array formulas?
Ooh. I'm probably more on the VBA, fewer keyboard shortcuts. Control-Shift-Enter is too many keys to push. So, yeah, more a VBA guy. So.